Live performances can be a tricky thing within the greater music landscape. Some musicians are better live than their studio recordings, and others, not so much. Live performances can be big and grand, they can be small and intimate, and everything in between. But the key word in this phrase, the thing that sets it apart, is the word live. When a band or singer is performing in front of people, not at a controlled environment in their studio, anything can happen. Sometimes it's the crowd that causes a little ruckus, like fans throwing mud at Green Day, MC Ride tossing somebody off stage, or Akon needing to suplex somebody off stage. But then other times, it's the musicians that can make things awkward. Remember when Ashlee Simpson got caught lip-syncing on SNL? The mic was at her side when her vocals started playing, so she just did this weird little jig and got out of there. But what happens when the musicians are capable of actually performing, the fans act normal, but people behind the scenes are trying to get in the way of a good live performance? Enter Top of the Pops. This was an extremely long-running BBC show that was on the air regularly from 1964 to 2006. They would have weekly episodes that gave a rundown of what was topping the charts that week, and then some popular musicians would come on to perform. Sounds good, right? Well, Top of the Pops was a show based around live performances, but for years, they would try and limit just how live those performances really were. Back in the day, they didn't give musicians a choice on how they were gonna perform. For years, the majority of the bands were replaced by a backing track, and then they would have to pretend to play over it. This led to some fun hijinks every now and then, with bands not wanting to follow those rules. The band Travis had a food fight and gave the fans silly string during their performance to rebel a little bit, and then Oasis had a fun story as well. Liam and Noel switched roles and pretended to play the other's instrument, and you can see them laughing during that performance. But above all else, the worst/best performance on Top of the Pops was from Nirvana. Like the bands I just mentioned, Nirvana wasn't too keen on being told how to perform. They were a grunge band after all, and playing to match the energy of the crowd was half the fun. But Top of the Pops wouldn't let them really play. So, Nirvana retaliated. By the way, in this specific scenario, all the instruments are being taken care of with that backing track, but they still let Kurt do the live vocals, which, as you'll see in a second, was a big mistake. Alright, let's do this.
Having sold over 1 million records in 6 weeks, they're straight in at number 9. Here's Nirvana with Smells Like...
So, right away, you can already tell how ridiculous this is going to get. From far away, you can see Kurt doing this strange robotic motion while he's pretending to play guitar, and Chris has his bass a foot away from him, just kinda swaying it around. The camera switches to Dave, who looks like he's trying, and then we get this. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is better than Top of the Pops planning this dramatic zoom out from Kurt's guitar, only to reveal him playing the guitar like a puppet, and showing the goofy expression on his face. Again, we get Chris playing his role in this beautiful disaster. I'm glad the kids still look like they're having fun, and then Kurt freezes at the mic. Once he starts singing, he's doing this insane Morrissey impression, and I don't know how he's keeping a straight face throughout.
Load up on drugs, kill your friends, it's fun.
Pretty soon, Kurt starts eating the microphone whole, which is nice, and during the pre-chorus, he's doing some alien noises, and then he gets back to the Morrissey impression. The rest of the performance is more of the same, so here's a little compilation of some of my favorite shots with some super dramatic background music. I'm gonna link the whole thing down below so you can watch and listen in full with Kurt's horrible, amazing vocals. This is one of my favorite stories in music history, and I just wanted to share it around in case you hadn't seen it. It was around the time when the band really started blowing up, and to stick up for themselves in such a funny way while they were still becoming superstars is just the best. They sent a pretty strong message to the higher-ups in the TV and music industries, and as the years went on, musicians were allowed to perform however they wanted to on top of the pops. So, thanks Nirvana. Hey, thank you for watching that video. Just a fun little story that I wanted to share with everyone. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at RenshawHS. You can buy some of my merch, support my Patreon, and thank you again. I'll see you soon.